Hey, how we doing, guys?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Okay, so it feels like it's been a while, but we've only done two episodes,
Right. Well, we had
but
it's
it's the
kind of a
same
two-parter,
episode.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we found out that Dawn is cheating.
Yeah, Dawn has definitely reverted, which we saw coming. I mean, let's face it. I still think that parallel of him reading the Inferno
Dante.
on the beach, right? And the
Yeah.
name of the episode was "The Doorway,"
Yeah.
which is Dawn is stepping through the door to hell, and
He is.
I think his implosion is imminent.
Well, the episode started with somebody resuscitating somebody. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And also, somebody on Patreon pointed out the fact that his cheating with each season gets closer and closer to home.
Yeah. This is dumb.
It's actually in the same building that he lives in.
He's friendly with
Yeah.
her with the woman's husband.
Yeah. Like
It's
good,
nuts.
Give him a camera.
Yeah.
And so that is interesting to think about though, because the first season it was oh my gosh, the rich lady, what is her name from season one he was cheating with?
There were a couple.
His main mistress that he was going to run away for.
Oh, I'm totally blanking out on her name. Right.
Regardless,
The Miss Rachel Menken.
Menken.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Rachel Menken.
So far away. Season two, it's Bobby, which
Right.
Betty associates with.
Which
She
work
knows her.
a work relationship.
And
right.
three, it's the kid's teacher. Four, I mean, 4 and 5, it's like whatever. But now it's actually it's here.
Sure.
It's where he lives, and
It just shows how careless he's getting.
is it intentional or is it he just cannot help himself?
No, I think it's intentional. I think Dawn
That
is
he's purposely hurting himself.
Yeah. I think it's human. A lot of people, it's human nature to be self-destructive, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a happy person. I don't deserve happiness in my life, so I'm just going to go ahead and blow everything up.
Sure.
And never acknowledge it, that it was really your fault, right? Or in terms of like it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
I may acknowledge I was being dumb and careless, but I'm going to go ahead and blow my life up because
It's a choice.
I'm making the choice to blow
To
his
sit
life
there
up.
and
Sure.
like rationalize that and be like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I mean this is it's incredible that it's somebody that like they have over for dinner. You know what I mean? Because if you go back to season one, yeah,
they're friends,
right?
Like,
I mean, back in season one, Don had a hard line. Like Peggy came on to him, and it's like I'm not going to mess with somebody at work because that's too close to home. Now it's like literally at home.
Well, I was just talking about this on Patreon last night. Somebody was talking. They commented in the last episode and how Betty doesn't have to care for Henry the way she had to care for Don, and she doesn't feel guilty about it, which was a great call by the commenter. I'm sorry, I can't remember who commented on that. But I said I honestly like Henry more as a person than I like Don as a person.
I agree with that. I think I think Henry's a better person. I think you're supposed to be skeptical of him early because of
I didn't like him at first.
Right. And you're not, I don't think you're supposed to, because the relationship started with them having him kind of coming onto a married woman, right? Hooking up with a married woman. You're not he's a new character.
The way he kind of saved her, it's like
sure, but he's a new character who comes in and does something that's fairly sleazy.
It was pretty sleazy,
and they get divorced, they get married. He's obviously living a pretty straightforward life with her now.
But it's not black and white.
No, it's not black and white. And again, I think Henry's a character who's supposed to grow on you, but you're definitely not supposed to like him at first by design. No. I think Pete Campbell was kind of the same way, right?
Yeah. There's shades of goodness, but for the most part, he's a sleazebag.
When you go back to season one in the pilot, you're supposed to be kind of skeeved out by Pete.
I hated Pete the most in season one, even though he's done worse things.
And
afterwards.
He's done terrible things. It's undeniable. I don't think anyone can also say I like Pete Campbell, but he's definitely someone you empathize with more.
That's the thing. The way the show creates empathy with these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, okay, Pete's just a miserable guy, and he's looking for something else, and he's doing it in the worst ways possible.
He is.
Which is kind of what Don's doing. Don's just a miserable guy, then he can't figure it out. Again,
it's kind of like, Roger's the same way.
Yeah, it's that's what the show is, right? The American dream isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
You just think it is, and you think if you're successful, and you marry the prettiest person, and you get the right job, and live in the right house, that you're going to be happy. Once you get your status, which Don has mentioned status more than once on this show, that you're there, you've arrived, and there is no arrived.
Well, I think that's interesting because it's been that way from the get-go.
Yep.
And now that we're so far into it, it's like, okay, now we're dealing with the what now.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about it, is we're seeing the fallout of all of that and how these people are handling it and how they're falling apart.
Yeah, Don and Roger are just, and even Pete at this point is just rich. Yeah. You've got if you would have told them, going into their jobs at Sterling Cooper independently, you're going to be rich and successful and have everything you want at the end, and they're going, what they would do? Make the assumption that they're happy.
Yeah. And they ended up losing a partner too. I mean, freaking Lane is dead now.
Right.
We're gonna capture this one. Sorry if the window capture wasn't on there, guys. Yes, there we go. But anyways, yeah, I think season 6 will be one of the most interesting seasons we've had so far, and I think that it's gonna get pretty bleak.
Well, I like
season 5 was as bleak as it gets.
Right. Well, I think the fact that we've really signaled the time change and characters look different and the fashion is different and and everyone's kind of gone their separate ways. I think we're really signaling strong transition here.
Yeah, I mean, the sideburns alone.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it's like this isn't the same show, and we've got a lot of
it's not the same show.
We've got a lot of visual cues, right? Which I think works great. Not just the reality of the time period, but the transitions of the characters. It's interesting that a lot of the characters, the younger ones, are embracing the change of the time.
Yeah,
and Don is one guy still wearing the same suit he was wearing in 1959.
He's a man at a time.
He's still greasing his hair down and parting it the same way that he did basically almost a decade before. He's
the only character that looks the same.
Yeah,
he's the only character.
He really is. He hasn't changed at all.
Maybe Joan might look the same too, but differently though.
Yeah, I mean her fashion is. I mean, she's still fashionable.
Sure.
She was fashionable then. She's fashionable now.
I think Dawn is meant to stand out for sure.
Yeah, Dawn looks like a guy lost in time, and we've gotten hints of that when he's done a lot of kids these days. When they went to the concert, when times like
Stones.
the boxing thing, right? We need to hire younger people. Why? What do young people know that we don't?
Yeah.
It's the idea that the world, Don can't keep up with the changing of the world, which is really kind of interesting.
It'd be amazing if, like in the 70s, he looks the same way.
would not put
it's
it.
1982, and he's dressing like that still.
It's like a Michael Douglas and falling down. All right, we do want to go ahead and welcome Amy B, Elizabeth Gates, Flavia Ramalho, Fozzie Alamari, Stephanie Bedworth, Mai, Surab, Kate Reason, and Zebi. I'm sorry if I got those names wrong, guys. But welcome. We're very happy here with us in our Patreon group.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you don't hit the like button for us, leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On all shows, including Mad Men, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you want to jump over there, you can keep going. You certainly can. You will absolutely have to sync and watch along on your own device or streaming service. You will only see and hear us because of copyright law. We cannot get around that.
Yeah,
we're also watching 30 Rock right now as a Patreon exclusive. We just wrapped up Schitt's Creek and are starting Dairy Girls. And as soon as we're done with Mad Men, we'll be rolling into The Wire, which I'm very excited about.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. All right, for those of you back with us on Patreon, welcome back, guys. We're going to go and start episode 3 here in 3, 2, 1.
Dreg hunt.
Do you dress as a bunny? Maybe a little cottontail?
So these guys are hitting on her.
In her home.
Yeah.
With her husband right there.
Who's flirting with 2 other girls.
Their wives, too.
Yeah.
Get me the tickets in secret.
I recognize the actress.
Arrangements could be made. Just pick a date and ring me up.
She was in Observe and Report.
Oh, yeah?
You have another one of those?
But you've already seen hair.
Maybe I want to see it again.
So is Trudy the only person in the room not hitting on somebody?
Yeah, but she's getting hit on.
Right, yeah.
It just shows how gross the men are.
Yeah.
Honey.
I'm sorry. I'll swing by the bank at lunch.
These 2 are not being subtle.
No. Maybe weird, right? That's very strange.
I wouldn't have the stomach for something like that.
You're lucky your wife works.
She doesn't earn much.
Not yet.
She's on a TV show.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
I forgot my cigarettes.
Is he going back to her? Yeah, there you go. You suck. Just after talking to the guy,
That's
you know?
So gross. Yeah.
It is gross.
I knew it'd be you.
Oh wow, it's not seductive. That's more like I'm gonna get murdered by you.
Oh, finally, another flashback.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Mac. He's with me, so he's your uncle.
We thank the Lord for opening your rooms.
We've heard about Uncle Mac.
Uh-huh.
Of course, Ernestine told you we could always use a little help around here.
Let's get you off your feet.
Was it season 2 that we had the last flashback to him as a boy?
It's been a while.
Rise down and mind your own business here.
This is making more and more sense.
Yeah.
Find your own sins. Stay away from Max.
So Don had to grow up in a house of ill repute.
Yeah. Well, he's always had an eye for women, I guess.
Well, his damage is making
yeah.
sense. Yeah, he's a kid.
Great set design, by the way.
Yeah. Isn't he supposed to be going to work?
That's what I'm saying. You taking a nap?
You don't mind sitting across the table from your wife and my husband.
I don't think about it.
See, that's weird, man.
They're both good company. That's so gross of you to say.
Said yes because Megan keeps asking. She likes you.
And I like her.
Are you?
Yeah.
I have money. I just never have money.
Feels transactional.
Very transactional. I mean, I know it's not, but
sure.
That was a
The
terrible
way you
effort.
are has nothing to do with the fact that the work needs work.
Thank you, Coach. We'll try our best.
She's learning how to be a boss. It's, you know. But she does have high standards, and that's a good thing.
It always worked for Don, though, with the to kind of be terrifying to the subordinates.
She's his protege, you know?
Ah.
Don't linger in the hallway.
I'm kind of wondering if it's their sexism involved. Like, if it's harder for them to take it from a woman that's being that direct with them than people do a man.
Yeah, I wonder.
Perhaps something to drink? I have bourbon, vodka, gin.
See, this is the Pete that drives me nuts.
Known to get hot.
I'm fine.
She's very uncomfortable.
Glad you came.
I figured that's what she was there for, but
that's hard for me to say. I don't know. She didn't seem comfortable with it to me. But
no.
Maybe she is. Maybe I just read that wrong. Pete's just going in a lot hotter than she was expecting.
Yeah. DDB managed to get me on the 50-yard line for the Giants game last November. If we
does he remember the Titans?
we do anything to make you happy.
It is. You're right. It's the quarterback.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
The past few years, I've overseen Ketchup to great success.
Oh, it's Heinz, everyone, yeah.
And the question is, what can we do for you? What can we do for Ketchup? Let me know.
I don't see Ketchup going anywhere anytime soon.
You guys are doing a bang-up job. And now that polished Polak wants the same.
It's kind of competitive.
He comes up to me, and he didn't say, how did you do that? He said, how did you do that?
Oh, I get the difference there, yeah.
It's ketchup, Don? It's the Coca-Cola of condiments.
I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta dance with the one that brung you.
It's kind of like with Mohawk Air, when he didn't want to move, try for American Airlines, exactly.
He's loyal to
everything but his wife.
Yeah.
I just wish watching TV during the day didn't make me feel so guilty.
That's what makes you feel guilty, though?
That's a good point, yeah.
She has other reasons to feel guilty here.
Keep hearing Sister Eugenie in my head. Such a horrible person.
You're not a horrible person.
That should be really guilting her hard. Yeah.
I mean, to be pregnant now?
Oh, that's what they were getting at, yeah. Too hard on her career.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
I mean, last season, Don asked her for a baby.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Is a word there for a second?
Yeah, he was.
Hello?
Bad poker face, Don.
Yeah.
I think she might grow the moral compass or conscious in here and be like,
she's going to be the one to leave Dawn.
Yeah.
I'd take a drink, too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a pitch meeting, so she doesn't have to go to that.
And Lord knows, you're so damn persuasive.
We understand her.
See how
We do not like this guy at all.
I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Bob, why don't you show me the sights? You must be like a kid in a candy store out here.
Even Bob's like, I hate this guy.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Everyone hates me here.
Well, that was bound to happen.
She was hired from outside and put in charge.
Yeah.
With you.
That was tough, but fair.
Oh, speaking of people who hate you, Raymond J. Beans came in today and pulled a real boater.
Raymond J. Beans.
Kenny spent 2 weeks telling everybody how he was getting ketchup.
Okay, Tuesday morning is perfect.
What? Oh, yep. Well, have your wig ready then, ma'am.
I love Stan so much.
My friend Stan was telling me a funny story about one of our old clients.
What happened?
Oh,
Are they going to use this?
Yes, they are.
the agency, and everyone got excited, and then, unsurprisingly, he sent ketchup out of the room and told everyone
Peggy.
it was just for show.
This is...
So he's unhappy.
There's
nothing
Yeah,
like
he
things
was
going
begging.
badly when you leave, is there?
I think Ted just got an idea.
Yeah, I think Peggy shot her mouth off on something she shouldn't have there.
Thanks, Peggy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
What?
Hey, Campbell, she's your problem now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Peter, go to Tammy's bathroom. There's some cotton wool.
He doesn't want to leave him alone.
I'll be right back.
She told. Right? When he found
Absolutely.
out.
That's
or
why he said,
something.
"Hey, Campbell, she's
Right.
your problem now."
Yeah.
That's got to be it. It's either that or he just saw her running to the house and was like,
Right. So
Drink. You get the waiter to do the whole show again.
I think Don and Pete might be getting divorced about the same time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I've never wished divorce for anyone.
Right. They deserve it.
Yes. We'd like to hear the spiel again.
Scusi, there is a telephone call.
He's got to go. It's turning into a date now.
Opportunity to powder my nose.
I mean, they need to have a talk. I hope that she's like, "Look, man,
We're done.
yeah, I hope so." I mean,
I don't think it's going to go that
I
smoothly.
get having marital issues. I get that, but like,
He's
don't
not.
have an affair with somebody in the same apartment building as you.
That's the weird thing is he's
Or
not
general.
having marital issues.
But she is, I think. I think that's
Possible, yeah.
but he's not. Yeah.
My mother's in Boca Raton. Well, you can't go home.
He's gonna put her up. He's gonna put her up in his apartment, isn't he?
Yeah.
What did you say to him? Hello?
Shut up, Pete.
Can you take me there?
We'll get you a taxi.
Nonsense. I'll drive you.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'll run you over.
Of course.
Go. It's best this way.
Pete and Don are having the same problem right now.
Look,
and I don't feel bad for either one of them.
How is okay? So they're both gross, obviously. But
Yeah.
like Pete is enraging me. Like,
Good mood, and I'd like some guidance on the Italian menu from my favorite Italian.
I didn't cook it, so I can't speak to its quality.
yeah, she's done.
Yeah, she's not happy with the situation.
You want to feel right up until the point where I take your dress off.
There's a great line. That's a great moment, actually.
He'll have the steak diavolo, and I'll have the branzino.
Anything to start?
No,
Like Branzino.
we're in a bit of a hurry.
I can't. I don't like that worked. I really don't.
This is a great moment, though. Yeah, it's awful, but that's a great. The way that they made that was really, really good. Yeah.
Tonight, my guest is the New Orleans District Attorney, Mr. Jim Garrison.
He's got to sit there and wonder about what they're talking about in the car.
Yeah. I hope she told Trudy.
We'll know soon enough. Yeah, it looks like Trudy knows.
Well, I had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
A few days ago.
That's what I thought they were talking about was a miscarriage. Like the problem took care of itself, she said, yeah.
Do you want to have that conversation?
Whenever you want.
He's so good at pretending, isn't he?
I think he means it. That's the gross thing, is I think he just compartmentalizes it. He doesn't realize how screwed up he is.
I guess.
I don't think it's an act when he's nice to Betty or when he's nice to her.
He just wants it all, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's can't figure it out.
Oh, yeah, Trudy knows.
I let you have that apartment.
Somehow I thought that there was some dignity in granting permission.
Oh, yeah, she knows.
You will be here only when I tell you to be here. I'm drawing a 50-mile radius around this house, and if you so much as open your fly to urinate, I will destroy you.
Good for her.
You, yeah.
Yep.
You don't know anything for sure.
I'll live with that.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. Screw you, Pete. I love that. Like, no, you don't get a divorce.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good morning.
I'm glad that she told her.
Yeah, I'm too.
It's not that. It's just that it was a private conversation.
What are you, his priest? This is how wars are won. Your friend's mistake was under.
I think eventually she goes back to Sterling Cooper because this guy's gross.
That's gross. I get it. It's business, but at the same time.
Dom presented and you loved, but we will increase sales with a surgical and financial focus on local media.
Ron hates this.
Forget about radio. How about a mailer or a circular in the Sunday paper?
What is the thing? Yeah.
He's sabotaging it.
Yeah.
This is your recommendation.
I think
He's definitely sabotaging it. Yeah.
the numbers would support that, don't they, Harry?
That, it's really a statistics game. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm 100% positive that this approach moves cars, and not just Jaguars. This is proven to move all kind of cars. Hell, even used cars.
Yeah, he's
comparing it to used cars. Yeah.
Gentlemen, we appreciate the recommendation, but we believe we should stay with the proposal as first discussed.
Good job, Don.
Yeah.
We still believe this is our best chance for success.
Fellas, this is gonna work.
I'm sorry, but
Don just really did let's get all kind of folk in here by your cars.
Shucks, yeah. Fellas, this is gonna work.
He did, yeah. Done.
I love how Roger picked up on it. It was like
Roger knew what was going on, yeah.
You pushed. Then you let Dawn talk. You should know better. The guy's not a salesman.
Don Draper's not a salesman.
Can I get you something? No, thank you.
Is he really nice or is he really a suck up? I can't tell. Because it really rubbed Kenny the wrong way.
It did.
Yeah.
I got it, Chief.
I think he might be sucking the nice.
It's hard. We don't know enough about Bob yet, but he does seem like a really nice guy. But I can't tell if he's playing an angle or not.
Nobody's nice on this show,
right?
Except for Trudy.
It's almost like you can't trust somebody.
All right, this would be traumatizing to see as a kid.
See, I kind of feel like that this is a lot of why he is how he is.
Yeah.
Don's a guy who never had parental love, and he's mistaken this for that. I think we're underestimating how much Don kind of grew up as a bit of a trauma victim. You know what I mean? For childhood trauma.
Every time we flash back to his childhood,
it's terrible. It's just,
he witnessed his father get kicked in the head by a horse.
and his dad wasn't a good guy. His mom died in childbirth, and his stepmom doesn't want him, or whatever her relationship is, technically.
Now they're living there, which I'm assuming is a brothel?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Yeah. John Hamm, he directed a fantastic episode.
Yeah,
that was really well made.
Yeah, and I'm really kind of glad we're getting back to who Don is.
Yeah,
because like we said early on in his childhood, we saw the fact that it was completely messed up, right?
Sure.
I've kind of felt like he has like classic abandonment issues.
Yeah,
because he never had stability as a kid, not any real stability, and so that instinct to always run away makes sense, right?
Oh, of course.
That abandonment syndrome makes him just want to run anytime something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
Which I think is what he's kind of doing now with his neighbor, right? That's his version of it.
His escape.
Yeah, and so I think I'm kind of glad we're getting back to seeing, okay, how is it manifested in his very unhealthy attachment to women?
He can't get comfortable for too long.
He can't get comfortable too long, but and also his.
He can't accept love.
Yeah, well, he's never had it. He's but not developmentally.
No. I'm saying like in the sense that like within a marriage or like a woman like Becky, Megan, it just it doesn't last, and he can't accept it. Probably because he doesn't know what it is,
His perception of it is so askew. when you grow up with no healthy attachment to a mother or a father, especially a mother for him because he never had one, except the woman who raised him who didn't like him. It's getting muddled for him in physical stuff.
Definitely explains the sexual politics as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Growing up in that kind of environment, it doesn't really mean anything to him in that sense. I feel like you'd be desensitized to it to a certain extent.
Maybe I think that's fair, but I also think that maybe that's him equating love. He's like, I don't know what love is, and this is what I see what love is from a woman to a man. So therefore, that's what I need to feel like I'm loved, even though it's not love; it's just physical.
Well, it's also interesting that like he just handed her the money early in the episode after the first time, and I said it felt transactional.
Exactly,
that makes sense in the sense that like he
for sure,
that,
absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
that is interesting.
Yeah,
that is a really interesting dynamic.
It is,
to express on TV. You know what I mean? And I think that maybe there should be a bigger conversation about that. I don't know if we'll delve deeper into it. I feel like it kind of speaks for itself in the show.
Sure.
Regardless, it's obviously a very adult show,
right?
That can handle these subjects without getting too crude or graphic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I appreciate for it being on network TV. They can explore that theme.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it was cable, it wasn't network, so they can kind of do more.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. And so they're still pushing it for AMC.
Sure.
AMC does push boundaries. But it's not like HBO.
It was supposed to be on HBO.
It would have been way different.
This would have been a way different show on HBO.
I agree. I think that it has some restraint.
Yeah,
does help the storytelling.
It can
kind of like in the 50s they had the Hays Code,
right?
So Hitchcock couldn't really go for it,
right.
But I think that leads to more creative storytelling techniques.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely would have been more graphic.
Sure,
but it's hard to say exactly to what extent. Now, watching other shows on HBO, you know that like
Game of Thrones is the big one. Yeah,
any number of them, right?
Sure.
Nudity would have been completely rampant on this show.
Yeah.
Given the opportunity for
I'm not saying I'm crude. I mean, like if it's tasteful, it's tasteful. I have no issue.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps the storytelling, so then the question is how would the story have been different, right? In the storytelling, if they wouldn't have had those restraints at all, because the storytelling would have been different.
I like nuance.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean, like I don't mind that, but also I think it does help the show because the show was set in a certain era to where in movies and TV. That just wasn't a thing.
Right.
In the 60s, it changed, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I think movies got more graphic and whatever. But,
right.
But I feel like it does fit the show very well in the sense that they don't show that.
Right.
It helps capture that time period. The Pete thing. I am so glad Trudy found out. I thought she had an awesome moment there.
Right. She did.
Baller.
She did. No, I thought she was, it seemed pretty clear that this was going to blow up in his face. I just didn't think it would happen so quickly.
Sure.
It's obviously very tragic for the woman whose name I don't remember how it happened. But I mean, there actually is a victim here that's not really being talked about. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's kind of Trudy has a right to be upset, but Trudy's not the victim here, and I think her picking up the bloody towel and then chucking it off to the side shows the fact that Trudy kind of wants to be the victim here.
Yeah.
And she has every right to be upset.
Absolutely.
But she's not really the victim here.
Yeah.
The woman who got her face punched in is the victim here.
Yeah, big time. And then she was just used by Pete as well.
Completely,
like she was trying to be vulnerable with him, and he was like, no. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And, at first I thought it was just going to be like a guilt thing because the episode kind of revolved around guilt in the beginning.
Right.
Whenever her husband shouted, "Hey Campbell, she's your problem now," kind of thought that it could have went one of two ways, right? Either she told him, which obviously she did, or it would have been like, "Oh, she's going to Pete's house. Hey Pete, she's your problem now." Whatever the fight would have been.
Right. I think it's pretty clear that she told.
Of course,
right,
of course it is. Yeah, because
the timing, right?
I don't know if we'll see more of her character. I mean, if they can make it work, they can make it work. But at the same time, I feel like that's just kind of done.
Well, I don't think Pete wanted anything to do with her.
No.
Beyond the one day.
Yeah.
Like not even like as a recurring visitation.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think we're going to see her again.
Well,
I don't think Pete cared. As soon as what was the first thing he said to her when they were alone? What did you say? And I'm like, how about the simple fact that her husband just beat her face in?
She's got a broken nose, bro.
Before you pile on too, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously his self-preservation took over, but it was gross.
Disgusting. And I do think it's interesting that we have the parallels between Pete and Don this episode. They're both...
They're destroying their lives, for sure.
Also, on Patreon, we talked about this last week with the Linda Cardellini character. Somebody said that Don is grabbing where he eats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good way of saying it. Pete's doing the same thing.
He did the same thing, and Trudy called him out on that. Why somebody right on the street?
And she knows.
Right.
Like, Trudy knows.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, just have some discretion, man.
Right.
Like,
Trudy's not stupid. She grew up in this life. Her mom lived in that life.
Yeah.
That she knows. When he said, I need to get an apartment closer to work so I can spend nights there when I'm in the city. Oh my God. Come on. We all know what that means.
Yeah.
I need to start spending the night other places. Is that okay, baby? Yeah, of course, because nothing's going to happen.
Well, the fact that she's down with that kind of shows that she's a strong wife to have in your corner. I'm not condoning that at all. I'm just saying, like,
well, I just think
she's always been there for him. She's always been the most supportive wife you could have.
No, she's been great, but I don't think it's anything that she was supportive of. I think it's like, this is how it is, you know.
But she's had his back, is what I'm saying. Like,
right.
She's accepting of this whole situation up until it blows up.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree that she's accepting the situation. I think it's like she has no power in the situation. He's going to do it.
I just feel like she shows that she does now. Like, she's like, okay, fine. Like, I gave you this free reign.
Right.
Now you want to bite the hand that feeds? All right. You don't get to sleep here. I'm not giving you the satisfaction of divorce. Like, we're going to stay married, but you're not going to be here.
No, sure. And I don't know. It's we don't get a lot of Trudy's internal thoughts.
I'm not saying she's okay with it, right?
Right. I don't think she was okay with it.
I think she was looking for some kind of discretion.
Well, yeah, for sure. Right. She's like, I gave you this inch, and you're an idiot, and you took a mile.
Yeah,
but I don't think she wanted to give him the inch. I think that she just didn't have a choice. Pete's out cheating. She knows Pete's out cheating. She's known before that he's cheated. This is just a thing that was going to happen with him. He's one of these guys, right? They were basically brought up together to get married, right? She's kind of a debutante, right?
Yeah.
And they were kind of groomed for this relationship.
Sure.
She's been in it her whole life. She knows how these men are. She was standing there getting hit on by those two guys at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is alien to her.
No.
She knows what Pete is. I'm giving her a lot of credit for, like, not being. She was never naive. She wasn't Betty.
No,
right?
No.
Betty was naive about what Dawn was doing. Trudy was never naive about what kind of person Pete is.
She's not. But it's also about image, right?
Oh,
so in that way,
absolutely.
So in that way, there's a similarity between Betty. She's a way different character than Betty is. But I'm just saying, like, the self-concern image here is insane.
It is. It's like you're making me look stupid by having it right on the street.
Yeah, the fact that she
agree.
allowed him to have the apartment and like just asking for discretion and then being like, all right, that's out in the open now.
Yeah,
now we can get divorced.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it's been there. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's not okay with him hooking up with these women, but it's happening. And what is she supposed to do?
Yeah, but what she's really not okay with everybody else knowing.
But then when it's like, well, so this isn't even a thing you're going to keep quiet.
Yeah.
Great. I am done with you. I've wanted to be done with you. Yeah. I'm not divorcing you, but you're going to keep sending the money home. Yeah, I do too.
I'm not a quitter. We're not quitting.
Yeah, no.
You just don't sleep here.
Well, I think if they get divorced, she looks like, because, the time period, we look at Maisel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Maisel, they get divorced. It is totally Joel's fault, right?
Yes, it is.
100%. But everybody, including her own family, piles on her for the marriage ending.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same kind of thing in the time period.
Sure.
Why are you getting divorced? You're a woman who has no skills and need money. You have kids. What are you doing getting divorced? My husband's been cheating on me all the time? Oh, grow up. That's how it is, So I think she knows that if she would have divorced him outright right there, as crappy as it is, she would have been the bad guy.
It's all a game.
Oh, completely.
They're playing this elaborate game. And it's so gross.
It is. Yeah. She would have been the villain if they'd have gotten divorced. How can you take those kids away from your husband? What are you going to do for money now? What?
Well,
how is this her fault?
Full of expression. Don't get mad, get even.
Well, yeah, just like whatever. We're staying married. I just don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You're gonna do what you want to do.
Yeah, go. Fun. Just go away. Just don't bring it home. We're done.
Real quick, we should touch upon Don and Megan. I think it's interesting what you said about how you genuinely think he does want that with Megan. He does love her.
I think
he does love her. It's just so weird.
No, you're right. It's completely weird. I think it's all part of his, developmental psychosis. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks he's being a bad guy.
If he's sick.
Yeah. Really. I think when he's with the people he has affairs with, he's with them and he cares about them and he's happy to be with them and these are the rules, right? Sure. When he's with his family, I love you. I'm with my family. I love my family. And he said it here. I don't think about it. He somehow was completely able to. He's able to compartmentalize it, right? When I'm with you and everything's great. When I'm over here, it doesn't matter. Everything's great.
Yeah.
But why should one affect the other? Because it should. If you were wired correctly, it would, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Not to a healthy person, that kind of compartmentalization seems odd, right? How he can cheat on his wife and go home and 20 minutes later be incredibly supportive to her.
Yeah.
And like, I love you, we should talk about it. And that's it. I don't think it's an act. I think he genuinely means it. Because you were right. His poker face sucks.
It's awful.
When he came home and they were talking, and you could tell it was like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly like Pete did, right?
Yeah.
No poker face. It's weird because I don't think Pete has the same kind of psychosis. I just think that Pete thinks that's who he's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's weird, right?
Because Pete knows he's a bad guy, right? He said it in the last episode. I'm the bad guy, and I think he's let that give him an excuse.
Is he getting any enjoyment out of it? You know what I mean?
I don't think he does at all.
Because it doesn't. Because when Don does these things, right? It's like I wouldn't call it enjoyment, but there is some sort of fulfillment. He's continuing to do it.
It reaffirms that somebody cares about him.
Yes,
that's why he sleeps with all these women, right?
When Pete does it at the end, it's like, get out of here, get away.
Yeah,
from me.
I
want to wash myself flawless.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think Don, like I said, he's at that big hole and doesn't ever feel like he's getting or deserving love, even when he is, right? He's not confident enough when his wife's away.
Yeah.
So if somebody else is doing it, it's like, I'm lovable. Somebody cares about me. Well, no, they don't. They're sleeping with you.
Yeah.
But that's conflated in his very broken head.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time before he's single again.
Yeah.
And
so.
And
do you think that she actually becomes pregnant?
I don't.
You don't?
I think this was it. I would
for a second there. I thought that it might happen that Don and Megan have a child, but I don't know.
I don't think so at this point. I think it's a thing to where Megan's going to leave him and Megan's going to be gone, right? I don't see an arc where Megan stays on the show.
Yeah.
We can't have Dawn running to two different families now.
With 2 seasons left, it'd be a choice to have him have another child. Yeah.
Right. Narratively, if Don gets left, which I absolutely think he's going to,
yeah.
I don't see a world where we have Betty over here with the kids and he's still seeing Sally and Bobby and Jean.
Yeah.
And we have Megan over here where he's hanging out with a newborn baby. And we have all of that mess. I think the show just gets too soap opera-y at that point, and I don't feel like this is a soap opera.
I think if that does happen, then they stay together until season 7, and then the show might end with her finding or something.
Yeah, right.
That would be the logical.
I think we're going to have an arc where Don is alone.
It's either that or he just spirals and is like, kid over here, I'm ignoring everybody. You know?
That's possible too, because we are in a season where I think Don finds rock bottom, and I don't think he's ever been close to that. And I think he's going to be alone when that happens. I don't think Megan leaves him at the end of season 7, because at that point Don is never going to find the bottom. He's clearly heading towards.
He could definitely devolve. His bottom could be him just being a completely absentee father. You know what
sure.
I mean? It could just be him like walking out on all these people and just being Don Draper at Sterling Cooper Price and just not being there for anybody else.
I don't know. I feel like we kind of saw that last season, though, or the season before. I feel like we did that in season 4 already.
Sure.
So, not saying that he won't do horrible things again, and he won't ignore his family. Right? Exactly. Yeah. But I don't think I feel like since that's really what season 4 was. I don't see another season where Don is off on his own, avoiding everybody, and just trying to figure out who he is. You know,
kind of dark. You know.
And let's face it, kind of repetitive too.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.